Across cultures, across centuries, the same stories keep showing up. A great flood, a serpent in a tree, a hero with 1,000 faces. Why do cultures that never met tell the same myths? Were they copying each other, or do all humans share the same inner blueprint? Let's find out. In ancient Mesopotamia, there's the Epic of Gilgamesh. It tells of a man warned by a god to build a giant boat before a great flood. Sound familiar? The story appears again in Genesis, again in Hindu scriptures, and again in ancient Mesoamerica. These civilizations had no contact. So how did they all imagine the same event? The deeper you go into mythology, the more it echoes. The Greek Orpheus descends into the underworld to bring back his love. So does the Japanese goddess Izanagi. So does the Sumerian goddess Inanna. Everywhere you look, stories repeat. And the similarities don't stop at plots. You'll find a Sky Father and Earth Mother almost everywhere, trickster gods who disrupt the order, a cosmic tree connecting realms, a sacred mountain reaching toward heaven. These are more than coincidences. So why does this happen? There are 3 powerful ideas that help explain it. First, Carl Jung's theory of the collective unconscious. Jung believed all humans are born with shared inner images called archetypes: the hero, the shadow, the mother. These archetypes form the building blocks of myth. No matter where you're born, your brain is wired for these characters. Second, Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. He analyzed hundreds of myths and found they follow one pattern. A hero leaves home, faces trials, descends into darkness, gains wisdom, and returns transformed. Whether it's Hercules, King Arthur, or Harry Potter, the structure is the same. Third, evolutionary psychology. This theory says that myths are mental survival tools. We fear death, so we tell stories of resurrection. We face chaos, so we imagine gods of order. We need cooperation, so myths teach morality. In short, stories helped us survive as a species. But here's the most fascinating part. These ancient stories are still alive today. Think of Marvel movies. Thor is literally a Norse god. Black Panther follows the hero's journey. Star Wars is built on Campbell's mythic structure. George Lucas even said so. The point is, don't think of mythology as old wives' tales. They're as vital as ever. Myths are foundational because they deal with the big questions. Where did we come from? Why are we here? What happens after we die? These questions don't have empirical answers, and that's why myths are so compelling. They offer symbolic explanations for our existence. Take the flood myth. Why does a culture that's never heard of Noah's Ark imagine a great flood? One answer is the collective unconscious. We're all primed to imagine a global catastrophe, perhaps because such events have happened in the past. Maybe it's hardwired into our DNA. Another answer is the hero's journey. Many flood myths feature a hero who survives the deluge and repopulates the earth. This echoes the journey of every human alive today. We survived the Ice Age. We adapted to changing climates. We evolved from hunter-gatherers to farmers to city dwellers. In effect, we've been on a journey for millions of years. That journey is encoded in our genes and in our culture. And that brings us to the third answer, evolution. The flood myth may have helped our ancestors survive. It offers a psychological explanation for natural disasters. It may have comforted our primitive relatives to know that the gods themselves were sending rain. In short, myths helped early humans cope with a chaotic world. And what's true of the flood myth is also true of all myths. They served a psychological function. They helped people make sense of the world. They instilled values and beliefs. They provided comfort. If this is all true, then myths aren't dead. They just change shape. Today's Hollywood blockbusters are tomorrow's campfire stories. And that's a beautiful thing. Here's why. Every myth has both a public and a private meaning. Publicly, they transmit cultural values. Privately, they reflect our inner struggles. Myths speak to both the community and the individual. Now take that idea and blow it up to a cosmic scale. What if the entire universe is a single myth? What if galaxies are the gods and quasars are their myths? How could I possibly say that? Because just like human myths, quasars repeat. Almost half of all quasars have exactly the same radio structure. They're like twins. It's as if some cosmic intelligence is following a recipe. In short, quasars are the stuff of myth. And that means we can use myths to understand the universe. Stay tuned to find out how.